So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Josh. We're going to be starting with a video, but he's going to give a little introduction of himself to get started.
Can everybody see me or hear me? Just want to say thank you again for this opportunity to speak to you guys today. This is a very exciting opportunity to connect and just talk about Go Buddha and just like kind of what we're trying to accomplish here within the plant-based realm. And this is an exciting topic because I think it's something that's coming to the forefront every day. Social media, we're seeing a lot more of it. We're seeing a lot more of it on the healthcare end as well. And so I've been through sports and entertainment, Celtics, Bruins, won the Stanley Cup in 2011 with the Bruins, American League Championship with the Cleveland Indians in 2017, the personal chef for Odell Beckham just this last season before he was injured and moved to Florida. So I've seen firsthand how food has healed people and how food has been contributed to the performance to these elite level athletes. So this is a cool opportunity for you guys to learn a little bit more about the program we've created to make sure that people have access to this food beyond just athletes, of course, but then also for us to kind of look at the contributing factors of habitual habits, things that are more than just food around that I can't wait to share with you guys. If I went back to college as an athlete and had the insight or the opportunity to have this conversation, I'd have a million questions. So we're going to show you a quick video. You're going to learn how our food program is really interactive with local businesses, dietitians, nutritionists, yoga instructors. And I just think that's the kind of the call to action right now for us as a group, is that going forward, we make these choices and decisions, but the resources are unbelievable. So we'll kick it off with our video. Thanks, Kristen.
Sorry about that. Press play a little too soon, but I'll go ahead and get that started.
Thank you.
And she said, "What about Go Buddha?" And I loved it because again, it kind of connects us to the mindfulness and the consciousness of eating better and doing something better for yourself.
There is some truth to saying like you are what you eat, and you become those. If you're giving yourself whole food, plant-based, you're naturally going to absorb more plant-based nutrition, and that's something that your body can use to help fight off the next round of whatever is coming down. Bioavailability is the ability for your body to absorb the nutrients that are present in food. So maximizing bioavailability would mean pairing specific ingredients to unlock even more nutrients. We looked at just the functionality of food and how it could help rebuild the body. What we're able to do is take old theory, right? Food is medicine. That's 2,000 years old, Hippocrates. And then finally, it's being recognized by modern doctors, and then kind of reapplying their thoughts and theories on, recipes. And that was a really cool collaboration to be able to be an expert in food next to experts in medicine, and needing each other, having that symbiotic relationship where we were going to use food as medicine. It's not just a restaurant. It is a theory, it's a mindset, it's a new food philosophy. But it takes the entire group to kind of be that one, so we can all move in the same direction.
Hey guys, all right, we're back on the line. We're going to build our breakfast salad. Remember, today's tip, of course, for health for me is let's start to eat some breakfast salads this year. 2021 is all about the breakfast salad. # breakfast salad. I think we're digging it. We're gonna start off with our custom 22-ounce bowl. We got a nice blend of dark greens. It's all about the purple kale, so you can see here, baby Swiss chard, spinach, really deep dark greens, right? Not the romaines, not the icebergs. We really want a lot of nutrients in this right here. So on top of the breakfast salad, we're gonna do some onions and peppers. Take a look. Lightly caramelized or roasted would be perfect on top of this because you're going to get that nice texture, but there's a sweetness that kind of unlocks with those root vegetables and the onion, and then you've got the beautiful vibrant colors of the peppers, of course. Any type of definitely be good for this. You get this kind of like nostalgic kind of hash kind of taste to it, right? It's a breakfast salad, but I also want it to kind of taste like breakfast, right? So we're gonna add some potatoes to that next. Roasted red Bliss potatoes, but a purple potato would be great. Really any type of potato, because it's the complex carbohydrates in it. That's your sustained energy. After, be able to aid your digestion, what you ate before, with a nice, beautiful salad. Instant energy right there because your body can break it down pretty quickly. We want something that's going to last for energy right after that, and that's the potatoes. So going forward, we've got our greens, our onions and peppers, potatoes. We're going to work on some black beans. I got these beautiful black beans right here. Excellent fiber, good in protein, of course. Just a little bit of those. Then we're going to work over into some more colorful ingredients. Let's talk about some more protein. So the soybean right here, beautiful and green. A nice lean protein option right there. We're going to put in some golden beets. Excellent color here, vitamins C and D. Actually, it's going to help you unlock more of the magnesium in your bowl. So there's a reason why we want to make sure we add a bunch of colors to all this right here. So we've got our golden beets, our edamames. We're going to add some tomatoes to this right here. You can see the colors. That's a good sign, of course. It's all about the colors, nutrition. Then we're going to finish it off with some purple cabbage. That's an excellent breakfast salad right there. I think would be perfect dressing for this is going to be the green goddess dressing. Green goddess, making a ton of herbs right there, really good to increase blood flow. It's also great to help with detoxing your body, of course. So we've got our new breakfast salad for 2021. I think it's going to be the newest thing. It's light enough that you can still go for your workout, but it's going to be a great way to start the day. Just want to thank everybody for joining us today with our first 30 for 30 health tips in 30 days. I'll leave you with a little motivational quote. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. I think that speaks a lot about 2020 and just what we were able to endure together and how much we discovered of each other. So let's get together. Come to Go Buddha. Check out our healthy options and how we can customize a bowl for you. But most importantly, start eating some salad for breakfast.
Hi there, my name is Braden Yakabuchi. I'm a nutritionist for occupational performance and nutrition, as well as CrossFit Cadre in Hudson, Ohio. Today I want to talk about brain health. The brain is a super important organ, right? It does everything in our bodies. It controls a lot of things. There's 4 main things that you can be eating to promote brain health and prevent cognitive decline. Those 4 things are green leafy vegetables, things like spinach, kale, broccoli, stuff like that. Flavonoids. Flavonoids are found in berries, things like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fish like salmon, light canned tuna, and cod. And the last one is walnuts. Add these 4 things into your diet daily, and you're going to be good to go in terms of brain health.
We are here with Braden, and today we're going to be building a bowl around brain health.
All right, let's get started. So, base of mixed greens. Get those dark leafy vegetables in there. Very important. All right, we're going with the red mango curry sauce. Where's that snack? Super excited to try that out. And then I believe we're going down here next. We got some cherry tomatoes. Very vibrant. Love it. Cashews, healthy fats, as well as sesame seeds. We're going to go with black beans and edamame, some healthy plant-based protein. And then lastly, a little bit of basil to top it off. And that's pretty good. My brain's going to love this. Oh, yeah.
There you go. The brain health curry. It looks like a beautiful salad right there with a bunch of different proteins. This is definitely a great way to start the day and good for cognitive health.
So a quote that really resonates with me, and a quote that I think is powerful and that I think you guys should have in your tool belt as well is Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Nutrition is preventative. It's very important to eat the right things so that later on in life we can prevent chronic disease and things like that. So I'm honored to be part of this first segment here in the Just Go series at Go Buddha. I hope you guys enjoyed all this information. We'll have a lot more coming at you guys, so be sure to stay tuned.
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I'm a holistic movement practitioner. I have my own private practice in Lakewood, and I'm the director of possibilities at Hope Yoga in Fairview Park. I love Go Buddha because it provides nutritious and healthy food options. I'm a big advocate for both movement and nutrition as part of a holistic lifestyle. One of the primary functions of our bones is the storage of nutrients and minerals. And one of the ways that we can do that is through movement, but also through what we eat.
We're back. I'm Joshua Ingraham again at Go Buddha. We're here with Michelle. We're going to be building her bowl of choice. Today, Michelle, what are we building?
We're going to do a green curry bowl with no grains, extra greens.
All right.
I'm dairy-free, plant-based, and grain-free. So this bowl meets all of my needs and keeps me fueled through the entire day, or at least until dinner time.
Beautiful. Starting off some greens. Skipping that rice, the grains, going right into the roasted vegetables. Beautiful seasonal blends. Nice and hearty. Green curry bowl. One of the favorites.
Yeah. Healthy dressings are important.
Moving on up. Some green onions. Green curry. Oh yeah.
I've got the fuel to get me through my day, the grain-free green curry bowl. As Jim Rohn says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. So come on in, try Go Buddha. Look forward to seeing you around the space. Hi guys, I'm Jackie Walsh, founder and owner of Hope Yoga in Fairview Park. I'm here today at Go Buddha because I love this small business. Me being a small business owner as well, I really like to support our local community and to create partnerships with other small businesses. I also love Go Buddha because it is a easy place to get to in Rocky River, super close to our studio, and it allows me to come grab a quick meal that's really healthy and is friendly to my paleo diet lifestyle.
Welcome back. We're at Go Buddha with Jackie from Hope Yoga. We're going to be building a strawberry chopped salad, one of our core menu items. So working with the greens here. Jackie's going to talk a little bit about her specific nutritional needs, which we can meet here at Go Buddha. I think you're paleo right now, right?
Yeah, so I'm eating paleo, so that restricts some of the things that I can eat. And then I also really do not like mustard, which is the preferred dressing for this salad. So we're gonna sub it out for the lemon miso.
No edamame for this one, right? Because that's a legume, and no legumes in paleo, correct?
Correct.
Right. So. Go with. So, want to get 4 on this one? The paleo-friendly strawberry chopped salad, sponsored by Jackie.
Okay, so I got my strawberry chopped salad here. We made it paleo friendly. So we took out the edamame and subbed for a different dressing. I'm not a fan of mustard, so luckily you can sub for any type of dressing that you'd like instead. I got the lemon miso, and this bowl is a great option for me because I'm eating in a way that feels good for my body and allows me to continue to sustain my energy throughout my day so I can get everything on my to-do list done. Stop in to Go Buddha and get yourself a great, delicious, healthy meal.
Cool. My sister actually visited, this is way before the pandemic, and
All right, Josh, back to you.
Back to me. Awesome. Great questions, by the way, and thanks for watching. I think there was some key terms in there, right? Bioavailability, the customization of how we can make these ingredients, fit everybody's lifestyle. And so just to roll back quickly during the pandemic, as a chef for Progressive Fields, I was furloughed long enough, of course, with no fans to lose my job, essentially. We just got called back. It looks like we're going to have about 7,000 fans this year. But in the meantime, to support my family, 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and my wife, of course, we had to kind of keep going, right? So that's the craziest thing about life is that you get knocked down, you got to make sure you get back up as quick as possible. Otherwise, it starts to catch up to you, right? So luckily, we had this amazing concept on the side that we'd started to do for our friends and family. And my wife's father was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. So, when I spent some time as a culinary director at the Cleveland Clinic, main campus downtown, I saw all these outpatients, some beautiful people that were in their worst times, and you could do only what you could to help them in the moment. But I could see that preventative medicine was in food, and it was that the diets that they were being referred to when they left the clinic. Unfortunately, I just don't feel like everybody has the resources available to them or the training to be able to do this. So it is kind of let's do this all together. And, we bring it right home as well. So not only are we making this, accessible at the eatery, open 6 days a week, we deliver 4 days a week. We ship overnight, air free, anywhere in the country. It shows up by 10:30 a.m. as long as there's no crazy ice storm that closes everything down. But that was the sole purpose, is that I've had the experience with these athletes, and they have, of course, unlimited resources. And it is very interesting, to kind of see that process and the team that's built around them, because you kind of see what their the top level doctors and recovery artists are looking for, and kind of their process throughout the week to get ready for that that big game. And I think it all translates into who we are and in our lives. And I think being in the moment you guys are in right now. Again, if I could roll back those 15 years, all that gray hair right here. It's all about establishing the good health practices and habits and making the choices right now that will become the catalyst for you to achieve better performance later. You might think you're in the best health right now, that you can recover really quickly, but just imagine if you start to build a base around these foods and habits, and then you bring it back home, right? So as a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old I have at home, we make these baby Buddha bowls all the time. And so, we've kind of taken the classics, and I saw some of the comments about the nachos. It's a necessary thing, right? Like to find some comfort food within this, new plant-based eating. And how can we make plant-based approachable and inclusive for everybody? And that was kind of, recreating the walnut bolognese, which we use over zoodles, which is kind of like your traditional spaghetti dinner. But it's something that people will try. Once they try, they realize that without all the dairy, all the salts, all the meat that's on top of it, we'll talk about that in a second. I wish I could have like 3 hours with you guys today, or even more. That's why I gave you the email. Please connect. I feel like this is an ongoing conversation that we're going to have for as long as we can. And you're all, of course, welcome to the eatery, and we'll do more of these. So again, thank you so much for Cleveland State and Kristen for inviting us. So we go through the recipes. We'll go through that together in our side conversations, because I don't want to take up too much time with that. What I really wanted to push home is that plant-based eating isn't about just one segmentation. It's not. It shouldn't be narrowing it at all. It's actually should be complementary to all of our lifestyles. So think about the bowls that we're providing. We've been pulled into that vegan category kind of naturally because of creating this concept around functional medicine, eliminating the dairy and the gluten, helping it be to maximize the bioavailability, which helps the absorption. And if you look at some of our bowls, we've actually really worked hard with some of our local dietitians like Kylene Bogdan and Nicole Ryan. And I think it's really important to put the name and the face to that work, because I think, we are subject to a lot of great media out there. And I feel like sometimes our choices are made up before we even walk into that store, and we make a beeline right to the middle aisle where everything's in a box, where we should be shopping on the outside of that, store where everything's nice and fresh. All the colors are speaking to us. They're telling us to eat them, right? So it was our job as trained chefs and working with the dietitians to come up with Go Buddha's core menu, which maximizes again the bioavailability. So we specifically selected these ingredients to help almost like a multivitamin. The A's and D's help unlock the potassium and magnesium. Adding the citrus to the beets. Actually, one of the comments was, how do we make this food last longer throughout the week? And I think planning is a big part of that, and we want to promote that as well. We know we can be available for you every single week, and that'd be the ideal situation to eliminate that that need and choice. You can focus on everything else you have in your life and let us take care of it. And in a perfect scenario, when we get large enough and we scale to that degree and it becomes affordable for everybody, then I believe we can kind of solve the issue of the current food system that we have, where it doesn't really work for you, So we want to make sure we get back into plant-based eating. And even when we started at home, I remember coming home with a bunch of groceries, just super excited about all the produce I just picked up. And then 3 days later, seeing how much of it just went to waste because I didn't have time to cook it. So I understand, trust me, we're all in the same position. And that was part of the solution of Go Buddha, is to create this food system where if we're always open, then the food's always fresh. And so we can make it for you to order exactly how you need it, custom to your food journey. That's kind of what I wanted to explain too, is everybody has their own food journey. And you're going to have to kind of ask the questions based on what you need to be able to tailor that to your needs. So that's another thing. What's available to us may not fit what you need right now. And you kind of continue down the spiral of not feeling well and achy and having inflammation and not sleeping. And so we, when you listen to Braden and Michelle and they're talking about brain health and the specific foods, like that's the rabbit hole we need to be in. We need to be asking the questions. If you are able to put yourself on a plant-based diet for over a year, as my father-in-law did, after having 60% shutdown of his liver, and all of a sudden it coming back to full strength. I mean, the doctors, I'm so proud of them for recognizing this now, because Hippocrates did state this 2,000 years ago, right? And we've been, around culture and farming for a long time. So it's not like we're creating anything new. I think we're just accepting it, as it's not just a single category. Plant-based as a whole it should be included in everybody's diet somehow. So when I was cooking for these athletes, I think it's really important because they always woke up and they always asked for their green smoothie. And I thought it was cool. I always think of smoothies as like, I think mechanically, if you can eat things, it's going to be better for your body, because that mastication process, right? It all triggers a whole process right there. So it's important not to just continue to drink smoothies, not knowing why, right? The consumption of additional proteins that you don't need to. Of course, those smoothies go down quick and there are a lot of calories. So if you're not actively using them, then I've known people who get in this kind of rut where they go for the protein bar and then they go for the protein smoothie, and they're just in terrible health because they're not supplying their body what they need, right? So the green smoothie, it's very cleansing. I actually hinted towards that, salad for breakfast. That's a real thing. I mean, think about your gut, right? We want to instantly give ourselves something beautiful to wake up with. As we're going through that sleep process of the day, that's technically fasting, right? So what you're going to learn as we continue our conversation beyond, of course, the time frame we have today, is the difference between the fed and the fasted state. I think if anything, after this conversation, you're going to have a million questions, and that's good, because the light bulb went off. We opened the door, right? And that's the whole part of what we're trying to do over here is we want you to ask those questions so we can be there for you. And Kristen can be there as well, as she's training over at Paragon, excellent resources here in town. So the green smoothie to enhance the gut, right? I've noticed that the protein that we were actually providing for these athletes, it wasn't like a heaping pound or 21 pounds of chicken or whatever else. Like, of course, we had everything dialed in per gram of protein per body weights. We had those specific recommendations, but specifically it was about the portions and the timing. And so you think of we got breakfast, lunch, dinner. We're trained to have those 3 meals. And then if you can, I think naturally some of us snack in between anyways. So the 5 meals, if they're controlled, is actually kind of the best. And you look at it almost like a grazing, right? Because that ties into your glycemic index. It ties into your glycemic load. And I believe, if everybody wants to hear this right now, the next trend is all going to be about glucose, which is the sugar in your blood. So we know the brain runs off of glucose. It's going to transform everything into glucose. So if we go on these diets where we eliminate carbohydrates completely, which is a great form of recovery, right? Because it helps restore the glycogen in our muscles. It gives us energy. It sustains itself over long periods of time. If we start to remove that and go, high fat, high protein, the body will convert that eventually down to sugar, which is what the brain feeds off of. So it's all about glucose levels, which is your glycemic index and the glycemic load. And again, we'll make the notes on this because we'll have to get into this topic a little bit deeper later on. But very interesting, because I read the gut is the second brain. That is correct, of the body, and significant. You got it, man. It is all about you are what you are made of, right? What you eat. And so that's why it's one of those old sayings that we kind of joke and laugh about. But these decisions to, I'm just going to have a cupcake, I'll go running tomorrow, like, that's the trap. You got to make sure that, the hardest decision should be what you put into your body. We shouldn't, there shouldn't be, I'm going to take $40 out of my ATM and give it to my friend. Like, we know that's a hard decision. You're going to think twice. You're going to be like, I don't know about that. I'm going to have to work an extra shift this weekend. Like, what are you going to do with the $40? You're like, but for food, we don't even think about it. Well, before you know, we're done a whole can of Coke, or, we're eating a second helping because it tasted good. Like, there are triggers in food that have trapped us, right? And so it's kind of like eye-opening to think about, like, what have we been putting in our body? and for all the thought that we put in the rest of our life, right? Especially since you guys are in college right now. So I know the routines that you guys are in, and the demands that are on you right now, physically, emotionally, mentally, and, setting yourself up to succeed with the expectations that are being put on you. We have to have the same expectations for ourselves, right? And then we start to perform at a higher level. And then you'll realize that this food is exactly what's, in the timing of it. It is a lot. It's a big topic. It's one I don't want to rush through. And so I just wanted to kind of throw a couple things out there, like the green smoothie. We use blueberries, actually, a lot of blueberries in dark blue because of the anthocyanins, or they're just like antioxidants. But actually, it's antidepressant as well. So think about it in sports as recovery. It's not just about your muscle recovery and the 2-to-1 protein to carbohydrate ratio and following your calories and making sure you're not leaning out during the season and eating enough, right? Which is always an issue actually as well. But what about mental recovery and having, good, fatty fishes like salmon and the omega-3s and omega-6s, combined that are going to help, restore your mental health, which is going to help you gear up for the next workout. I personally put myself through some incredible training regimens where I mentally wasn't there 100% and I could feel my body kind of falling apart. And to the point where I knew that I was doing more harm by working out than I was actually helping myself. So that's the personal journey, but understanding that these food are complementing those exercises and that just like that lifestyle. Next is nitric oxide is present in beets. So like beet juice, roasted beets, again, colorful. Everything I've named so far has a lot of color right there, right? So we use that to enhance performance as well. So there's actually a company out there that does like beet juice shots before like workouts kind of thing. Imagine taking, instead of a 5-hour energy, you're taking a beet shot with maybe some fresh ginger. But those are the kind of things we need to be thinking about. And I love speaking to, groups like this, because you're going to take this information and think about it in a completely different way, because you've got so much more time ahead of you. And, to put in any of these, beet shots before an exam or something, like, I don't know, you tell me if it works, because I know it works on the athletic end. So the next thing is broccoli, one of my favorite cruciferous vegetables. It's incredible because it actually, the chlorophyll that's in broccoli scrubs your lungs. Beet powders just started in the last 9 months, works great and much healthier and organic. Yes, I mean, you guys are on it. And that's the thing. I think the information is more readily available, but you got to ask the questions and you got to get down those rabbit holes, right? So that's the rise of the plant-based movement. It's not going away. It hasn't really gone away. It just wasn't recognized. And now we're recognizing it. We're going to be able to put it in play and really live the fullest life possible. So I expect to open up 100 more Go Buddhas in the next 10 years. I just feel like that process and the system and the accessibility and the affordability, like these are all, we know, issues with our current system. Clearly, with the pandemic on hand and people not getting the resources, we've donated as many meals as possible, even as young of a company as we are, because that's the goal. When we started this, we all shook hands. I went from a 6-figure salary as the executive chef for Progressive Field to earning $15 an hour. And you know what? We kept 11 people employed after raising 23 grand. So we're still running 7 months into it. And I think we're just in the home stretch. I think we're about to see, what Go Buddha is truly made out of, when we get to that warm weather. I feel like people start thinking about taking their shirt off for the beach. Healthy eating all of a sudden becomes a real thing. So I'm liking our chances of, even though the snow this week. So yeah, broccoli scrubs your lungs. So as in the clinic, the number one thing I would suggest, for somebody who's been smoking their entire lives and thinks, I've been smoking, I might as well just give up and just keep smoking. No, if I've learned anything, you can actually reverse a lot of this stuff, whether it's liver disease or kidney failure or, clogged arteries or lungs. Like, this is type 2 diabetes. Like, the root of these issues, of course, are environmental, but there's a part of that you can solve with food. And food, I'll go to baseball. Think about winning streaks, compound victories. You don't have to go in all the whole way. If I said do 100 push-ups right now, everybody's going to be like, I'm not sure. Even I'm not sure, right? But if I said do 10 push-ups 10 times a day, I guarantee you can do it. So it's got to be the same type of approach, and then building consistency. And then you're going to align yourself with these high level athletes, because that's what they do. They have timers. They do have people, everybody has people that are waking them up and doing things. But, when Odell came back from practice, he would eat twice in a 3-hour span, have some PT, and then go right into another workout at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it was incredible to see like the production actually of that human body, not even just the mind or the personality, but the human body, like what that had to go through and how much food I had to cook from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'd cook 6 meals and pack them up for them. So I think, obviously heaping plates of broccoli, things that you wouldn't think that these athletes are devouring. And do they love it? No. And not everybody has the taste, for 2 pounds of broccoli. And I do, when you look at the math of, a 6-ounce piece of chicken breast, and how much protein you have to get as an equivalent in plant-based world, it is quite a bit. And that is the difference right there. But, when we're shooting for specific protein amounts and for a plant-based athlete, we will supplement with shakes, of course, right? Because eating 3.5 pounds of quinoa to make up for that 6-ounce chicken breast is a lot for anybody. So, but the cool part about that, it's fulfilling. You feel great. And so there's endless possibilities, as you saw in the video, how we can customize here with 35 ingredients. Can the broccoli be good for you if steamed? The best, actually. Steaming broccoli is absolutely the best. I would say the only thing I wouldn't do with broccoli is submerge it into water and boil it. Boiling, as you see, the color, the chlorophyll actually starts to come out of the broccoli. And so whenever we cook things, we apply heat to things, we're actually denaturing the product, right? We're tearing it down, we're breaking it down into a form. We know that cooking for us is great because we can eat more food that's cooked and essentially get more calories, which is really the basis of evolution of the humans, right? As soon as we found fire, we could cook and eat actually more food, and our body was able to digest it because it's already denatured, right? So a cooked piece of meat versus a raw piece of meat, imagine eating a raw piece of meat, it's much harder for your body to digest, right? So the ability for you to eat more of it is tougher. So yeah, cooking is the key to all of these ingredients, right? But we do a lot of raw stuff too, like our golden beets. We shave those raw and we put a little bit of lemon water into it and let that sit. And that's one of those acidulation techniques that allows that food to kind of stay fresh throughout the week. And so it's the timing of things too. We're not going to cook 5 recipes on Monday, and the 5th recipe you're scheduled to eat on Friday. Start with 1 or 2 recipes. Start slow. I use a crock pot. I use an Instapot. We do a lot of, like chilies with sofritas and beans, things that I always kind of pick a stewed item, something that I know will last for, 3 or 4 days. And then nightly we'll pick something that's kind of fun for the kids. That's a little bit different. So I would love to share some of those recipes with you. And as we get closer to the summer, we're going to be starting our Go Buddha You. And we're going to connect you to all those amazing individuals, as you start to see. Actually, Kristen is one of them. She's scheduled to come in to do her Just Go series as well. And it looks like I'm getting the, is it time?
We have a little bit of extra time. So we just got to make sure that we're off by in about 10 minutes. But I do have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
So, from working with athletes, and we have some fitness professionals on the call, as well as myself. So with clients, oftentimes, and from a public health standpoint, with my educational background, we see that there's a lot of factors that influence a person's food choices. You've mentioned some environmental ones, but there's a lot of emotional ties to food, mental ties to food, and how it makes you feel. So like one barrier that a lot of people face is that at first, a salad doesn't fulfill those emotional or that like quick surge of positivity that maybe French fries do. And that may be discouraging for somebody who has had certain eating habits and are trying to change it. So from your perspective, working with athletes, your personal experience, what are some tips that you could share with the group that may help them when they're making those changes and may lose motivation and start to feel like what they're doing isn't impacting them?
Yes, French fries, oven baking potatoes, you're taking steps to kind of remove the unnecessary, density of the oils, right? An Alfredo sauce, instead of, a bunch of cream and cheese, and actually we hydrate cashews. We make kind of like a cashew cream with that. And, the garlic that goes into that, the nutritional yeast. And, and if you're using ingredients sparingly, like, a hard Parmesan, those tend to be better for your body anyways. So I think it's just an adjustment. And I think you're right, 100%. I mean, that's why when I met those 1,400 patients, daily, at the clinic every single day and hearing their stories and what they're eating. And I get the question, what can I put on the George Foreman grill? What can I do this? Like, I wanted to have, I want to tell them everything, but I knew it was the habits, right? And it's very hard because, environment, as you alluded, what if my family doesn't support what I'm doing right now, right? And so you can't even get the resources. It's not easy, for sure. But that's why you need us, right? That's why we need to work together with your healthcare professionals, your fitness professionals, and now your food professionals. Like we've needed this for a long time, right? There's no reason athletes should be the only ones, or we should have to spend an entire day Sunday prepping food and putting in Tupperware. Like it's not everybody enjoys that, and I get that, but that's what we do, as a group. So you got to think of that as kind of like a resource for sure. And I think that's it. It's habits, it's culture. And we've done our best to kind of make that menu exciting for all different types of palates. We've got a cashew korma right now. We've got the walnut bolognese. We've got the kung pao cauliflower, and I can break down all the ingredients and sauces and tell you why they're functional. But when you try it, you're going to see. And I think somebody in the comments said they had tried a few things. It's lighter. It's fulfilling at the moment. And you feel great. And I think that's why our tagline is "Eat Happiness," because you walk away going, "That was pretty cool. That was a nacho. I can eat that." And actually, these bowls are probably some of the best things you can have after a workout, right? To replenish that body, to get those carbs back, to get the protein and get the greens, right? So they're healthy gut too. So nobody really helps us. Oh, that disappeared. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments sometimes when they pop up. But I hope that helps. It is overwhelming, and that's a great question because that's the trap question. That's the one that, well, I can't do it because this. But if you look at how we've just reinvented the Buddha burger, because we understand like there's certain things that we want to eat, like and we're not saying don't eat them either. It's just, can we prepare them with more functional ingredients? Can we bake the potatoes versus frying them? Can we bake the chicken versus frying it? Can we have a smaller piece? Can we supplement those things? Can we use agave instead of brown sugar when we're caramelizing our carrots? Like I bet you, if you give me the challenge or the chance, I can replicate some of your favorite foods and make them taste good for you. So Odell used to say, do your vegan thing. He knew it was good for him. And he's a Southern boy, right? So it was all about stewing down, some deep, dark greens. And he really loved a lot of heat. And I wanted to share that story too with him, just, because outstanding individual. And I think we don't know enough about those players and how hard they work until you get into that little bubble and just see how much they appreciate everything you do. So yeah, but intense flavor profiles. That was definitely something. Everything was spicy, to the point where I'd be sweating sometimes when I'm putting more of this Cajun spice into things. So, but I was doing the best I could to replicate some of his favorites, like you said, that made him happy, right? And so you're right. It doesn't matter who you are. That's a natural human instinct right there. We want to be comforted with food, and I think it is possible. Salads are great, but that's not the only way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. All of that information was super awesome. And I know that this conversation opens up so many questions. So for anybody who's in this, who would like to get more information from Josh, when you fill out your survey, just throw in at the bottom, there's a section to add more feedback. Mention that you want to be connected with Josh, and I'll make sure that happens. I'm throwing the survey in the chat now, so be sure to fill that out. Also at the rec, we are doing some nutrition education in March, so go to our website to find that. I will be leading that, so if you have any nutrition questions, we're always here to help. Josh is an awesome resource. I personally eat their food and absolutely love it. And a good point to always remember is that eating healthy doesn't have to be miserable, and you don't have to cut out everything. Josh does a great job showcasing that everything can be flavorful. You can make your favorite foods healthy. So awesome job. Thank you so much, Josh.